Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thursdays with God. It's a new month, it's a new week. Lesalete songa. I just wanted to, I don't know. I don't want this video to be as long as last one because I feel like I talked a lot. But this week, I think my theme for this week, for this month, is staying planted and seeing the lessons unfold into a journey for you. Yesterday I had a phone call with a friend. I haven't talked to her in like almost 2 months. So it's that thing where you haven't talked to someone in a while and then you're checking up on them. And she told me she got a new job, and I was so happy, because it's that thing where your friend has really been looking for that environment where they can grow, where they can, become the best version of themselves. And it's that thing where you're so happy for someone because they have been waiting for this opportunity for a long time, and you're like, finally, But one thing it also made me think about is the human feelings of envy, of doubt, but when is it going to be my turn? And I think it's a very vulnerable thing to talk about, especially in the Christian community, because, when it comes to these normal human feelings, we're basically told, no, you shouldn't feel that. You're a bad person if you feel envy. You're a terrible person if you feel like it should be me. But I'm also coming to ask myself, is it really bad to feel those emotions? Is it really bad to feel like it should be me? And I don't think so, because I've been wanting an opportunity through which I can actually say, oh, I've invited God, I'm feeling this way, and I've invited him into this space to help me with this emotion. And I remember feeling very frustrated, very angry with myself, and very disappointed. And before I could spiral into madness, I told myself to say, this is a perfect opportunity to include God, to say, bro, I am not feeling my best. I'm starting to feel like that promised land that you've promised me is 400 years away, And so I got my journal, I got my prayer journal, and I just wrote every single thing I was feeling. Look, I've been on this path for quite some time. Let me share something about me. I am in this, I don't know if I can call this chapter pivoting, trying something new, trying something different, rebranding yourself. And it's really hard because I feel like as human beings, we take our identity to say, this is who I am this person, I do this, I can't be anything outside of this, I can't be anybody but the person I am. But I feel like that mentality is being challenged in me this year. And I'm coming from a space where I felt like I found my purpose. I felt like I found what I was supposed to do with my life. But then I got to this point where the rug was pulled from underneath me. And I like to think I was in a space, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine a week ago. We were talking about how you think you're supposed to have this at this age, at this time. But if there's one lesson I feel I've been constantly learning, is the fact that there's no set time for success. There's no set time for you to be where you want to be, to achieve what you want to achieve. It is a surprise. And that's the worst part, because you don't know when it will happen. You don't know how it will happen. And these are the things that you want to know as a human being. I'm trying to teach myself this week and this month is having faith, but also knowing when it's time to try something different, to do something different, which is very scary, because how do you do something completely different from what you've always done? This is how you've always seen things, and then there's that famous quote by Albert Einstein: doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results is the true definition of insanity. And you're a human being. You're bound to lose your marbles from time to time. You're bound to be a bit insane. And I think I reached that point of insanity. Am I breaking my own heart by going after this dream, by thinking this is what I want, by believing this is what I want? I'm now in a space where, okay, this is where I am. Where you reach that point where you're like, this is where I am. This is what the situation is. So what do we do? Do we run away? Do we try to fix? But now that we're following God, now that we're following God, now that we're planted in God. And just a side note, I don't think your relationship with God ever ends. Unpopular opinion. I don't think it does. I don't think there is a point where God is not in your life, where God is not in your presence. I'm a big believer that He always is. But how do we intentionally include God in our journey, in our lives, in our problems? And if you ask me, I think it's like what happened to me yesterday. You sit down and maybe you journal about it, or you have a conversation with God to say, this is how I'm feeling. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like I'm not good enough. I do not want to feel like I don't matter. I don't want to feel like I'm not doing enough, and it's so weird. But in those moments, I just feel like you find a lot of clarity,